Welcome back, Alchemist, to another Akora deck profile. Today we're finally covering the electric attribute. Now this is a list that I have. I'm actually pretty confident with this list. I early on with the release of Grodhelm, I saw the potential of Ikino as an Akora, and so I decided to build around it. Spent a lot of work. I worked with Akora's #1 player, Tyler YT, ended up getting what I believe is a very solid list. Now, this physical list, again, I'm limited to what I have physically. It differs a little bit from the one I used in a TTS tournament for the Alchemy Order a while back, but it's still, it gets the point across. It is a very solid list, and I would like to share with you guys. Now, the first thing you'll notice right off the bat is that I have extended art copies of my Akora. So, first off, we have 3 copies of Ikino in the Akora deck, 1 copy in extended art. I was feeling like a wealthy gentleman. Yeah, one of those, very solid, and he has the special ability. At the start of your turn, you may flip 1 face-up Eternity card your opponent controls face down. That card cannot be flipped face up until the start of your next turn. If you activate this effect, you cannot attack this turn. So you're basically not going to be using that on your Ikino. You're going to be wanting to use that ability on more powerful stages, such as Ikino-Kashin. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have 2 extended art copies of this card. Now, this upgraded ability says, at the start of your turn, you may destroy 1 of your electric relic shards. Flip 1 face-up armament alchemy card your opponent controls face down. That card cannot be flipped up until the end of your next turn. So you're getting destroying a shard to use that ability, but early game, in combination with another card I will show you, that ability is going to be really powerful. And because of our wonderful battle zone with this attribute, we're searching a shard every single turn. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. And then we have the star of the show, Ikino-Zento, final form. Now, if you notice the wording on these other forms, all right, Ikino-Kashin can only put face down armaments, whereas regular Kino is limited to, to eternities. So the thing with Ikino-Zento is it can do both armaments or eternities. So you have both types without the paying of a shard or a battle phase. So Ikino-Zento, ideally, you need to be relicking up to your final form. All right, then let's get into the main alchemy deck. To start off, we're going to be playing 12 electric relic shards in this build. It's very easy to search shards, but we also need to be able to search our shards. And there's times where we will, in a especially drawn out match, we need to be able to search every single shard. So every shard matters in this list, which is very solid. There we go. From there is our trusty battle zone. We are playing 3 Electric Ruins. Electric Ruins is, once again, one of those. At the start, you can your Akora gains 100 attack power for each electric relic shard you have in play. And once during your turn, add an electric relic shard from your alchemy deck to your hand. So you get the surge off that effect. Very solid card indeed. We're playing 3 again. Just placeholder there for now, but that's okay. And we're going to get into some more expensive cards here. So we're paying, we got relic cost of 6 for 1 higher potential. Higher potential is a flash that says, during your turn, discard 1 electric attribute card, and your Akora gains 100 attack power for each electric relic shard you have in play, and in your dark zone until the end of the turn. Skip your next draw phase. So this can allow you to gain a lot of attack points very quickly. So this card can come in handy in some situations. Then we have 2 copies of Zapped. I love Zapped. It's got a relic cost of 5. So This is only going to be useful late game, but it's going to be really useful late game. It's at the cost of 2 Relic Shards. You can negate an attack and reduce the stage of your opponent's Akora by 1. That's an insane effect. So you're not only going to reduce future damage you take, but you are going to completely negate an attack. It's a very, very good card in this deck. Highly recommend it. And we got some multi-attribute cards here. We're playing 2 Ancient Calling. Ancient Calling being just a typical Akora tournament staple. Not too much to say here. Flip it, negate an attack. A very solid card. And this is a Kino Stun. We don't want the opponent. We either want our opponent's cards face down or we want them gone. All right. So we have 2 copies of Anti Alchemy. Again, just a very solid card. We're flipping it or playing it to, just flipping it to destroy 2 of our Relic Shards and target an Alchemy card on the field, negate and destroy it. So Anti Alchemy is just a very useful card for the game plan that this deck is built around. From there, we have one of my favorite cards because we have one of the first electric demon synergies in the game, meaning we can, say it with me, benefit off of Darkness Within. Equip it to immediately destroy it, to play a Relic Shard from your deck, allowing you to get 3 shards, turn 1, allowing you to a turn 2 Relic up. Very solid. From there, we have another card that's tailored specifically for Ikino-Zento. We have the armament card, Demonic Spark Totem. This card allows you to equip only to a demon type Akora. The equipped Akora gains 200 attack power, and each time your opponent plays a Relic Shard, the equipped Akora gains 200 soul points till the end of the turn. So it's punishing your opponent for furthering their own strategy, and it's giving you defense on your turn. So it's on their turn. So it's a very, very good card. I'm definitely a big fan of Demonic Spark Totem, at least at 2 copies for now. We're playing 3 Flash Step. Flash Step is a flash, and if your opponent activates an Alchemy card whilst your electric attribute only Akora is attacking, flip this card, negate it, and if you have electric runes in play, you get to add an electric Relic Shard from Alchemy deck to hand. So this is, again, getting you shards in your hand, but also it allows you to, basically if your opponent has an Ancient Calling or something, fancy like that, they're trying to have some response to your attack, you can negate it, which is very, very good. Almost situational, because that's not going to happen every time you attack. Your opponent's not going to have a response. But a lot of times they're going to try, even things like not today's, even if they're just trying to reduce your damage, you have a response, which is a very, very solid card. We're then playing 3 copies of Thunder Feather. Thunder Feather says, discard an electric attribute card and destroy one of your electric Relic Shards. Add an electric attribute Battle Zone from your Alchemy deck to your hand, so you're allowing you to search your electric ruins. And then you may place your opponent's Battle Zone card to the bottom of your Alchemy deck, and if you do, you cannot attack this turn. So that is an optional effect. You may place your opponent's Battle Zone card to the bottom of their Alchemy deck. So if you want to disrupt them, if they even have one out, right, there's a very good possibility they may not even have their Battle Zone out on the time. Not every deck can search theirs like we can here, so that is just a solid card to have in the deck. From there, we're only playing 2 copies of Bottled Lightning. Bottled Lightning says discard and destroy an electric Relic Shard and destroy one of your opponent's Relic Shards. So again, a flash, just generally trying to disrupt the opponent just a little bit there. Very solid, what we like to see. We're then playing 1 copy of Electric Touch. Now, Electric Touch is an Eternity that says when you activate this card, select an opponent's face-down Alchemy card. All right, so we use the effect of one of our Ikino forms. We have a card face down. It cannot be flipped face up whilst this card is active, okay? Each time you take attack damage, your opponent takes 100 damage to their Alchemy Essence. So you're constantly burning and you're constantly preventing your opponent from flipping a card that you probably know what it is. So you could, just keep a potential Ancient Calling face down, but then you wouldn't get to use the effect Flash Step. Instead, with this, you want to be maybe flipping down an Armament, something what it is, what benefit it gives your opponent, and that way, you can still benefit off of your other cards, but you're still preventing your opponent and getting that sweet effect off of Ikino. Very solid. From there, we're playing 3 copies of Charged Ground. Charged Ground is a card that requires 3 Relic Shards and is an Eternity that says, whilst active, when your opponent plays a Relic Shard from their hand, deal 200 damage to their Alchemy Essence. So again, you're burning them every time they play a shard, and when your opponent attacks, you may destroy this card and negate the attack. You can only have 1 Charged Ground active at one time. So it's a attack negation, and on top of that, you're burning your opponent for playing shard, just playing the game, which is definitely the game plan here. And then we're playing 2 copies of Chargeback. Chargeback is kind of a little bit more of a controversial card in the build. It's a flash that says, player flip this card, flip all other face-up alchemy cards face down. All other. They cannot be activated until the end of the next turn. Or until the end of the turn. So, Chargeback, it also hurts you, but if it's your opponent's turn... Alright, actually, never mind. I don't know what I'm thinking. So yeah, it's your opponent's turn. You flip this card. All of everybody's cards go face down, so any big boosts they were getting go face down, and they will have a significantly weaker attack. And then it rolls around to your turn. Everything gets flipped back up. It's fine, yeah. So Chargeback, playing it too, very solid card. But that will be my Ikino-Zento deck profile for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making this deck. I think it's very solid, and it just needs the right alchemist. In the right hands of the right alchemist, this deck can cause some serious damage in a competitive scene. So hopefully I'll have the list in the description. I'll also have a link to my Akora play deck list, which is the one I use on TTS. And it's a slightly different variant of the deck, but still gets the point across. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you feel free, please like and subscribe. If you enjoy this content, have some suggestions. There we go. Please feel free to let me know in the comments what you would like me to do or do differently. And from there, if you want to support the channel financially, please go to the Patreon link in the description. It's $5 a month. You'll get a shout out in a video, and you will support all the product we open here on the channel. Really appreciate it. But for now, I hope you guys learned something today. I'll see you in the next one, and have a wonderful rest of your day.